Monday, July 25th, and I welcome you to my studio. I have been, this past weekend, I participated in the Salt Lake City International Quilt Festival, which was really fun. We had a booth down there, and so it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and for all of you who came down and said hello, I want to thank you so much for coming. It's really fun for me to get to see people that say, "Oh, I watch you. I've seen you live," or so that just makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time as I sit here every Monday and say hello to you. So welcome, Cindy. You're the first person to pop on and say hello. Thank you so much from Kansas. So today we're going to announce the final block for the block party, the garden party quilt. So I'll show you the finished quilt again. I unveiled it last week, but I'm going to show you one more time, and then I'll show you the final bonus block that you get. So here we go. All right, so here's the quilt again. The finished quilt. I love it. I just am so pleased with the way this turned out. So you will get, hi everybody. It's good to see you as you hop on and say hello. Today, if you have registered for this, you will be receiving the sunflower block and the bonus block for a baker's dozen. And the bonus block that you will be receiving today is this one. This is, let's see, I've got it kind of upside down. There we go. A pansy. So, yeah, I love this little block, and I think I'll turn this into a pillow and do some fun stitching on this. You can see I haven't quilted it yet because I wanted to figure out what I want to do with it. So that's the final block. And I also want to apologize. I think when I, every single week, what I have to do is go in and update and add the new pattern to the digital pattern. So if you're ever asking, or you purchased the garden party pattern, I think I left off the dragonfly. I sent the dragonfly out to everybody who had purchased the pattern previously, but don't worry, I will make sure that you all get the update. So today you can watch for your email. You will get the sunflower and the pansy, and I will also be updating to make sure that everybody has received the dragonfly, which was last week's block. And so we made it. We've gone all the way from May to today. So this lasted us May, June, July, and it is the last Monday in July. And it's obviously not too late to join. You can hop on anytime. Oh gosh, there's my cat, my crazy cat. The pattern will be available as a physical pattern later in the week. I just want to show you, we have the proof is finished right here, and it's a big fat booklet, and it has all the patterns will be in here. So anyway, this will be available on the website later this week. So you can order the download still today. As soon as we make this physical pattern available, I will let you know. So just plan on that if you're interested in purchasing that. So let me think, what else has been going on? So we, as I said, we were at the Quilt Festival and had a booth there. That was really fun. I had a few people who have asked where they can catch my workshops or when I'm teaching and whatnot. We have not announced so we have one more retreat in October. That's full, but we will be announcing the new retreat schedule for next year. So if you are interested in coming to Utah, I think next year we're going to do it up in Deer Valley. So it will be very, very posh. I'm excited about that. We're just nailing down details for that and dates and whatnot. But you can also find me at Road to California. This January, I will be teaching 5 classes, 5 days in a row. So they're 1-day classes, 6 hours, and I'll be teaching a specific pattern. Okay, my cat is like dying. Where are you? Come here, Blue. Oh, he is so cute. I love him so much. I wanted to just show you, my husband picked up the Wee Green Beasties quilt because it has been up with my father-in-law, and it's one of the quilts that has been washed multiple times. And so I think it's kind of important to show you what happens to a collage quilt after it's been washed. So here is this yummy quilt. You can see it is just soft and scrumptious, and it is a perfect lap quilt. You can barely see a little bit of, fraying on the edges of where I have fussy cut. But the collage itself looks still really beautiful. You can see there's a little bit more of the fraying. But overall, I'm incredibly happy with the way this has washed up, because this has been this quilt has been, as I said, a lap quilt. I sent it up to my mother-in-law as she was on hospice care, and she didn't let this leave her bedside. Well, she actually had it on her bed during the time that she was in the process of dying. And she loved it. And then my father-in-law wanted to keep it. So I'm just borrowing it for the show, and thought I'd share with you that, yes, indeed, you can wash a collage quilt. Because here's the thing, I love quilts. I don't necessarily want all my quilts to hang on the wall. I want to be able to use them. Here's Blue. Look how cute he is. He's the cutest baby kitty in the world. I love him so much. So anyway, that's that. So I'm going to get to questions. Today is a holiday in Utah. It is Pioneer Day. Well, it's actually Pioneer Day is on July 24th, but because that was a Sunday, today's the recognized day. So in a little bit, I'm going to take off and go play with my kids and have a great time. But I want to answer any questions that you have. And before I forget, too, remember, I've decided that we are going to do a giveaway every single week. Something when you tune in, if you tune in, I think it's kind of fun to have a giveaway. So I told you we have a few more of these. We've got another skeleton pattern to give away. If you are interested in winning this or being selected for this, just put a comment in the in the chat, and we will draw your name later. So even if you see this a few hours later, go ahead and put a comment in the chat, and we will select someone to receive the skeleton pattern. Okay. You might, if you have really good eyes, be able to see that I am working on another Halloween pattern. See it back there? Okay. Little hint there. All right. Let's take a look-see and see if there are any questions that I can answer. I think I've covered everything. We unveiled the block for this week, shared the Wee Green Beasties quilt with you. We're going to do a giveaway. The garden party will be available this week sometime. And so now I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, so let's get to it. I want to tell you again, thank you everybody so much for joining me. It just is the funnest thing to see that we have people from all over the place. Kentucky and Oklahoma and Hilton Head and Alabama and Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Wales. Hi, Joe. I love it that you hop on every single time. I love it. Okay, so someone said, can you please post your finished quilt on the Facebook page? Absolutely, I will. I have some really great photos that I will post, and I will also post the back side. So somebody asked me earlier if I could show the backside. So here is the backside of the garden party quilt. You can see the quilting and some of the embroidery that I've done. And I am just thrilled with how this looks both on the front and the back. Isn't that cheerful? I just love it. Okay, so we'll just put it right here while I answer some questions. Okay, so yes, I will I'll post some photographs in the Facebook groups, both groups. So the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group is the group where we've been sharing and doing this together. And I will also post it in the Collage Quilter group. Great to have you, Deborah from New Jersey. Let's see. Okay. I'm looking for questions because Amelia is not here because it's a holiday. She's coming later and we're going to swim and go to a movie. Yeah, so Suzanne just asked about the physical pattern. This will be available by the end of the week, by Friday. One thing that we've started doing too is, obviously this is a format where I can make announcements and share visually with you. And then we also do kind of a weekly wrap up on Fridays. So that shares the information. It's got design tips from Amelia. And so in the next couple of days, we'll have this up and we'll mention that, I'm sure, in the weekly email. So Mary Jo just asked a really good question. She said, is there anything in the printed pattern that wasn't in the downloads? Great question. Nope, it's exactly the same. The difference is when you get a physical pattern from me. Oh, now this is incorrect because this is the wrong size. This is why we do a proof all the time. But the templates in the physical pattern will be the full size templates. So there's no piecing together. There's no need to print them out. So you will receive all the templates in the physical pattern at the correct size. So that's the one really nice advantage. And it's kind of nice to have the whole thing bound together. And as I've said, this is a big fat pattern, right? So it's different than what we've done before. It's going to be more like a little booklet. Okay, let's keep going. Any other questions? Oh, hello from the Netherlands. Okay, Jan just asked a question. If we have our patterns already, will we get the picture of your finished quilt? Yes, I will send, you know what, I'll put that in the email today and I will post it everywhere so that you can inspect it. I will take lots of pictures and post pictures, okay? Because I know that's super helpful. Oh, yeah, somebody just asked if you can see the back again. I'm going to show you the back of the quilt again. There's the back of the quilt. See that? The back of the quilt and the front. So one thing that's kind of that I want to show you, I hand stitched between the two blocks. And remember, I think the most important thing is to remember to trim the batting so that it butts up next to each other, so that the blocks, when you join them together, you don't have a big bulky batting that's overlapping. You want that to lay really smooth. And then you can take one of these fabrics and tuck it under the other and fold it, and then just do a lovely little delicate hand stitching. And it came together surprisingly well. And I'm really, really pleased with the way this quilt has turned out. Okay. Let's see here. I'm looking for questions. So Helen just asked, what batting did you use in Wee Green Beasties? I like, because the movement of the Wee Green Beasties. So here's the thing. Can you guys kind of see this quilt is a little bit stiffer than this quilt, which has a lot of movement and it's very soft. So the batting is the same in both of them. It's just that when you wash up a quilt, obviously it's going to soften up. And so the batting was the same in both of them. It's 2030, or excuse me, 2080. And I sell that on my website in packages that's just the perfect amount for this quilt. So that's the batting that I use. I really like that. It's very thin and lightweight, and it washes up beautifully. Dorothy, it was so great to meet you too from Ogden. I'm really grateful that you stopped by the booth. Let's see here. Any other questions? Okay, so good. Sandy is the first one that I've seen. Now remember, we're giving this quilt pattern away. If you are interested in receiving this quilt, just mention it in the comments, and we'll select someone that's watching today to receive that quilt pattern. Yes, Terry, that is a bat back there. I think I've shown you guys this bat before. I'll show you again. Might as well, right? Since you already see it. Let me grab this. Oh, I think that bat is so adorable. So I actually made this bat a few months ago when I was working on my just different critters. I love doing critters, and I'm really happy with the way he looks. I'm going to incorporate him into a design that I have in my head. So I will be getting that finished so that we can release that in time to make a fun little Halloween project. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Let's see if there are any other questions. Thanks, everybody. It's always so fun to see you and your kind comments. I really, really appreciate it. Boy, we have people from Norway and Costa Rica today. Let's see. The studio tour was last week, so you can still catch that video either in the Facebook group or on my YouTube channel. But you can kind of see what we've done with the studio is I divided it up a little bit so that I have my dedicated workspace here. And then we've added some more cutting tables, and all of the fabric that we're investing in is over there. And so that's where we've got just a really nice, lovely area for the fabric and the cutting of the fabric. And then in the very back is kind of where we keep our inventory and do our inventory and fulfillment back there. So anytime you order something, we ship it from Sandy, Utah, from my house. Okay, so let's see here. We've got lots of people that are interested in the skeleton. Fantastic. Texas, Georgia, California, Michigan, Yukon, Canada. All righty, let's see here. New York. So Julie asked, how did the quilt show go? Unfortunately, the quilt show was really, it was slow. There wasn't a lot of traffic. I feel really fortunate that it was worth my time. It was good for us, but it was slow. There wasn't a lot of traffic. And so that was a little disappointing. And I felt bad for the vendors that have spent the time to participate in that show. But sometimes that's just the way it goes. The next show that I will be participating in is the Quilt Festival in Houston. So Houston is always an enormous event, and I look forward to that. So if you live anywhere near Houston, I hope that you'll be coming down to see us at the Houston International Quilt Festival there. So Mary just asked, what will be the next Quilt As You Go project? I really like Quilt As You Go, and so I'm working on some things. I'm really, really excited, and I can't wait to just dig in. I feel like I've been super busy just kind of, with this quilt project, with the garden party, and we have been, changing up the studio and buying lots of fabric. And now August is here, and I am just about ready to just really dig in and get some more stuff ready so that we have some fun things to work on in the coming months. So I will let you know as I get moving on that stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to keep going down. I just want to answer your questions. If you have any questions about the garden party or any other questions, a blind stitch. Thank you. That's the stitch that I do, a blind stitch along the back. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so somebody just asked a really good question. They said, did you go back and add quilting up the seam line if necessary? Yes. So remember that in this quilt as you go, you need to leave about an inch from the edge unquilted so that you can fold back the backing and the batting. So and even I found that it was easier just to kind of look at the design. And so for this one, for instance, if I were adding this to the quilt, I would quilt this whole thing here, and then probably do these edges and then leave the rest, and so that I could add it to the block that's next to it. And if there was a large space that I didn't get quilted, yes, then I would go back and fill that little bit of quilting in. So that's a great question. If you need to go back in and touch up your quilting, you can do that. Let's see. So this is the bonus block. Let's put it the right way. I think it goes like this. So someone asked, would it work to just put one backing on the quilt, not each individual block? So yeah, if you would prefer to not do a quilt as you go and would prefer to put all of your blocks together so that you've got a finished quilt top, and then treat it like a normal quilt, 100% you can do that. But obviously you wouldn't quilt your project. So you would put the blocks together and then just treat that like your quilt top. So you don't have to do quilt as you go. I like doing work on my little Bernina. I like being on top of it and just being able to do that. For me, that was really fun. And but you can quilt it the way you prefer. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, so sorry, somebody asked if the studio tour was today. The studio tour was last week. You can check that out again on YouTube. So somebody just asked a question. When you wash the quilt, is it in a non-agitating machine and do you put it in the dryer? That's a great question. So I always recommend that you wash it on delicate. So it is a really delicate agitation, and then line dry the quilt. Now, when I have washed quilts previously, I've tested them. I want to test them and see how well they hold up. And so I've washed them in a regular cycle and thrown them in the dryer, and they wash up great. But my recommendation is always when you're working, washing a quilt that you care about and that you've spent a lot of time on, wash it on delicate, especially like, look, this is a dark quilt anyway. I'm going to wash it in cold. Delicate cycle is always cold, and then line dry the quilt. Okay, so somebody just asked a great question. Are you online every Monday and maybe with a new quilt? Great question. So yeah, I do this every single Monday at 11 o'clock Mountain Time. And I think that's a good idea. I'll show a new quilt every single Monday. How about that? Or what the idea is that I just kind of show you what's going on in my studio. Sometimes I won't have a complete quilt, but I'll show you what I've been working on. And as I said, this is the block for this week, and this is something that I'm working on. So there you go. Let's see. Okay, I'm just looking for any other questions that I can answer. Somebody said, yes, I would love the skeleton pattern. Also a spider in the Halloween quilt would be so fun. A spider would be really fun, except I really hate spiders. I don't know if I could bring myself to do a spider. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's see here. So Linda just asked, will there be a Halloween or a fall project coming? Yes, that is the purpose of the back. He is going to go into a Halloween thing. And then I've got another project that I'm working on that I'm hoping to have done by Quilt Festival, which is in the first part of November, but I'll get it. I'm hoping that will be done by October. And it's kind of it will be a really good seasonal quilt. I don't want to release any details about that though until I get a little further down the road. I'm excited about it though. So Pam just asked, is the sunflower coming today? Yes. So the sunflower is coming today, as well as this bonus pattern. Let's see. So Margie just asked, with Mondays over, what day will we see you? So you'll still see me every Monday. Even though the quilt along is over, you will still see me Mondays live here in my studio at 11 o'clock. Okay, so 11 o'clock Mountain Time. Is the bonus block the 12th, or is there an extra? So this is actually the 13th block. You get a baker's dozen, and the block for today is, get up there. Okay, so the block for today is the sunflower block. This sunflower, you will be getting this today as well as this block. So there you go. Now, if you remember, this sunflower block is the same thing as the Ukrainian sunflower that we did a few months ago. And I wanted to put my sunflower in her. I was super happy with the way it turned out, and it was just the perfect colors. So that's the reason that this sunflower is in here. But I'm going to give you the sunflower as well as the bonus block. Okay, let's see any other questions. Oh, we have someone from Luxembourg. Welcome. Oh, somebody asked a great question. I want to share this with you. So, being at this show, I saw lots of people who had never made a collage quilt before, and somebody just asked, I'm a complete newbie. What pattern do you recommend starting with? I haven't cleaned things up from the quilt show, but I kind of want to run over and see if I can grab this. The one quilt that I think is absolutely foolproof and that I've seen great results with for people that have never made a collage quilt is the Clementine quilt. So on my website, if you go to collagequilter.com, you can find the Clementine quilt. And the thing about that is it's like a paint by number with fabric, because it has the design pre-printed on a foundation panel, and all you have to do is apply the fabric pieces to the foundation panel. So in a minute, I think I'll run over there and grab that and just share that with you. And let me see if there are any other questions. So for beginners, the Clementine pattern is a really good one. Let's see here. Looking for questions. Lots of people are interested in the skeleton pattern. That's great. So if you are missing block 11, which was this one, if you are missing the dragonfly, please email me, Emily@collagequilter.com, and we will make sure that you get that pattern as well. I will also be providing an update today to the original download. Now, it's gotten so big that it's a zip file, and all that means is that it's been compressed so that you can download it pretty easily. And all you need to do with a zip file is double click it, and it will unzip the file and then open up as a download. Now, you do not need to print every single page in that. If you've already printed a whole bunch of them, just print the pages, indicate to your printer which pages you would like. So if you just want the dragonfly and the sunflower, go ahead and just click those pages to print. So there you go. And oh, we've got someone from Turkey. We've never had anyone from Turkey before. So welcome so much. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Okay, so somebody asked a great question. Is the yellow print border on the pansy available, or what fabric is it? Let me give you a little bit about what's been going on in the fabric that I've been using. So this fabric here I've had it for probably 20 years. It is fabric from France, directly from France. And I can't provide it as a block anymore because I only have so much, or, in a kit. Going forward, my goal is to provide a kit for any project that I'm creating. So I'm trying to do that. And then the other thing too, I am going to Paris next week for next month for 1 day on my trip to Africa. I'm doing an African safari for my 50th birthday, and we have a layover in Paris, and I am going fabric shopping. So I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of this fabric that I can include in one of my fussy cutting bundles. So anyway, that's that. Okay. Hello, Barbara from Arizona. Let's see. And yes, the sunflower and the pansy are coming today. I will going forward every Monday show a new quilt. Let's see here. Laurie just invited me to come to Wisconsin for a quilt show there. You just email me and invite me and pay for me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You don't have to pay for me. Thank you for the invitation. Let's see here. Oh, ink tents. Okay. I want to show you something that I've done with ink tents that was super, super fun. So I'm going to track down this Clementine that we were talking about a minute ago. And I'm going to show you what I've done with the ink tents on that. Somebody said, I make such a glorious mess when I start work on a block. How do you stay organized while creating? I have learned exactly how to stay organized. Maybe what we'll do is keep that question for next week, and I'll slide that in and really show you how I stay organized, because you can kind of turn into a mad scientist and it gets chaotic, and I can't stand that. Now, I do create messes. Don't let me fool you. I create messes, but they're controlled messes. And I do have some methods that I've kind of developed for staying a little bit more organized. So great question. And I think I'll do more of a demonstration on that next week. Okay. So Anna just said, I'm really bad at putting colors together. Will you have kits or advice in what colors that go well together with your written patterns? Yes, Anna, thank you so much. So going forward, I'm going to try and have kits available that use exactly the same fabric that I've used. And then the other thing that I'm trying to do is also include a fabric guide for every pattern that I create, so that if you don't have one of my kits, you can still see the fabric, the name of the fabric, and the quantity that I used. But I do love the idea of providing maybe some more direction about selecting fabric, because really the thing that's most important when you're making a collage quilt, and any quilt for that matter, but especially collage quilts, is fabric selection. And I have a lot to say about fabric selection. I really try to use my background as an artist and apply color theory to fabric selection. Once I have selected my fabric, the rest is easy peasy. It's like coloring in a coloring book, but fabric selection is the key. Okay, let's see. So someone just asked, will you be sending out the bonus pattern? I just ordered the garden party pattern yesterday. Yes. So if you have ordered the download garden party pattern, I will be sending the bonus pattern today. I'm going to try and get this done ASAP. Get the pattern out ASAP for anybody that has purchased it, because as I said, it's a holiday and I want to get playing with my kids. Let's see. Any other questions? Where do you demo how to bind? Oh, I would be happy to do a demonstration on binding. I love being really precise about binding. So I love these suggestions, you guys. I'm going to write them down. In fact, I have a list of videos that I want to do. So one is quilting, one is binding, and I'll be doing that. Let's see here. So someone asked, are you going to do another retreat next spring? Yes, we will be doing another 3-day retreat up at Deer Valley, Utah. And I don't know if it will be in the spring. I might do it in the summer. And let me tell you why. Because the wildflowers in Utah are at peak right now. And I thought, oh my gosh, I was up there this weekend and it looks like Switzerland. It looks like heaven. And the wildflowers were unbelievable. So I think that might be a really fun time to do a retreat. We're kind of working on the dates. And as soon as I have the dates nailed down and the location, I will let you know. So that's that. Oh, I'm so glad to know that I've got you hooked, Chris. I'm so glad to know that I've got you hooked on collage quilting. It is the best. Hello, Chrissy from Germany. Let's see, the Clementine. So Dorothy just said the Clementine quilt is how I first found out about you when it was on the cover of Art Quilting Studio magazine. Oh, good. Yeah, so that was on the cover of Art Quilting Studio. Let's see. I've got more fabric for you coming up, you guys. We've got 2 more shipments coming, and we have been updating our fabric. So let's see here. Susie just asked, where do you fabric shop in Paris? Well, I haven't done that before, and I have some leads. I've been talking to people about where to shop, so I will let you know where I get my fabric there. And I will bring back lots of goodies. Let's see here. So somebody just asked a video about the hydrangea. Yes, on staying organized. You got that. I'm going to write that down because I think I can really help you with that one. This is super helpful to have this dialogue so that I know what you want. Yeah, so if you are interested in seeing where I hike and kind of having a glimpse into my private life with my kids and my husband and my outdoor activities, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram, my business Instagram, which is Collage Quilter, collage.quilter. I'm not sure what my personal one is. It's Emily. Let's see what it is here. Here's my phone. Let me go to, it's Emily _W_Taylor. That is here's me and my husband right there. Oops, let me show you these wildflowers. You're going to die. Look at that. I took that picture up at Albion Basin on Saturday. Isn't it gorgeous? And we saw 4 moose up there too. So anyway, Utah's awesome. I love it. I love living here. Helen just asked, do you ever teach at Paducah? I have taught at Paducah, but I haven't taught there since before COVID. And I may or may not teach at Paducah. I'm doing my own workshops, and I'm thinking I'll do one in Utah, and I might do one in Tennessee. I'm kind of thinking about that. Okay, so Noreen just said, how about a demo on how to handle cutting and applying the teeny tiny pieces like the hummingbird's eye? Yes. Great suggestion. I'm going to tell you my best tip for that right now is using the tweezers. Those Heidi Profity tweezers. Let me grab, everything is packed from the show, so I apologize. I don't know where anything is. Otherwise, I would show you those little tweezers. They are the best. So that's my number 1 tip for handling those little teeny tiny pieces, tweezers. But these tweezers are special because they are designed for use in fabric. They have a really fine pointy edge. So you can see those on my website, collagequilter.com. We've got somebody from Holland and California. Sacré-Cœur, that's right. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce that, but yes, that's kind of what I'm thinking, that there's a fabric section of the city. So that's where I'm going to be heading in Paris. Okay, let's see here. Thank you, Karen, for the kind words. She took my class at Paducah. Mary, we're thinking alike, because I am thinking I would like to do a landscape quilt with some of the pictures that I've taken. Okay, so there we go. I don't see any other questions, and we are getting late in the day. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I've got your suggestions. I've got the people that are interested in the skeleton pattern, and I am going to just try and grab this Clementine quilt real quick. So hold on, hang on. Don't move a muscle. I'm trying to find Clementine right now so I can share this with you. Oh, it's not good that I'm, let's see, where is it? I had it out as a sample, and I can't find it off the top of my head. Aha, here it is. Is this the right one? Let me check. No, that's not the right one. It is right here. Okay. All right, folks. So somebody had asked earlier, what's the best quilt to start on if you're a beginner? I highly recommend, this is the Clementine pattern, and this is what I mean, that when you purchase this pattern, it comes with a pre-printed foundation panel that is in great shades of gray. So it just becomes like a coloring book, and all you need to do is look at the design. That's going to guide your fabric selection and your fabric placement. So fabric selection means, okay, I can see that it's darker fabric down here, and it's going to fade into lighter fabric up here. And I just apply my fabric to the foundation panel. You know, the adhesive that I like is Light Steam-A-Seam 2. But you can kind of see just the random cuts that are on this. And the idea is I'm just going to cover the entire foundation panel so that you can't see the gray tone underneath. Voila, easy peasy, right? And then you can use all your scraps. And if you need additional fabric, come to collagequilter.com and you can find those fabric bundles. So here's another version of it that I was just demonstrating at the quilt show. Some of the pieces are falling off because I hadn't pressed them down yet. But what I wanted to show you is this pot. So at my last retreat, I was doing a demonstration of using Inktense. So Inktense pencils. I had this wonderful piece of fabric. Now look, I'm a fabric hound. I collect fabric. I've had this for years. Otherwise, I would make it available for sale. But it's an old piece of fabric, and I thought, holy cow, that would be the most perfect chinoiserie pot. And so it's a whole piece there rather than collage, little pieces. But I wanted to make it look a little bit more dimensional, a little more rounded. And this is a perfect example of when I've used Inktense. So you can see I was kind of getting the color right. I was testing different pencils, different colors right here. And then I actually went in and did a little crosshatch with that. So it's a little bit darker and grayer around the edges. And then I've got created a little lip around that. And I had so much fun using my Inktense on this project. So that was just a really fun way to use the Inktense. Here you go. We just got another huge shipment of these in. They look like this. So they just look like watercolor pencils or colored pencils, and they work pretty much just the same. All you're going to do is just color with them, and then you can apply water, and they turn into ink, and that saturates or bleeds into the fabric, and it sets as ink. To control the bleed a little bit, you apply less water, or you can use a fabric medium or aloe vera. So there are some videos that I've done that demonstrate how to use Inktense, and we'll definitely do more in the future as well. So there you go. Okay. Thanks again for joining me. I got to get out of here and get this pattern out to you so you can look forward to seeing that very soon. And I will see you again next Monday at 11 o'clock right here in my studio. Okay. Have a great day, you guys.